You're listening to KOUG Radio. Listen live online at KOUGradio.org.
Hello, and welcome back to Earworm Episode 6.
Happy Halloween!
Yeah.
Today's topic is going to be animals with the best Halloween costumes ever. So let's start with us people.
Us people.
What's your Halloween costume going to be?
I went a little bit classic. I feel like what I chose my costume or based it off of has grown a lot in popularity over the last few years. And so I'm going as Walter White. I got the bald cap. I got the lab suit,
good.
like the hazmat suit, the glasses. I was going to...
Do you have lung cancer also to make it really authentic?
No, I don't. I could.
You should just carry like a hanky with you and then pretend to cough blood into it.
Oh, yeah, I guess
Like
I could
put
do
fake
that.
blood on it and be like,
Or I could just really like huff it up until I actually cough blood.
yeah.
Yeah. I could just swallow like a ball of steel wool.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it doesn't. Whoa, what about yours?
I'm going as Princess Buttercup from The Princess Bride, which is wonderful. My mom has always told me that I look like her. And Isaac, my partner, is going to be Wesley. And he said he's going to try very hard to properly sculpt his mustache to be the tiny little pencil that Wesley has in the movie. And I'm very excited for that.
That's fantastic. Is he gonna get like a little sword?
Oh, yeah.
What about the vial of poison?
Oh, no, we don't have that, but that's a good idea.
No, you could just do.
I can scrounge something
You
up.
could just do like a thing of vodka, like a little vial of vodka.
I can't. He can, because
Yeah.
he's overage, but I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, will it be his costume?
Buttercup didn't drink the poison in the movie. Anyways.
Yeah, she didn't even sniff it. She
No,
didn't want
I
anything to
would.
do with it. Really?
Yeah.
I saw a fan theory actually about Princess and the Bride. That was
Princess and the Bride.
Is that what?
The Princess Bride.
Oh,
They're
the
not
Princess
lesbians.
Bride.
The Princess and
How
the Bride.
interesting would that movie be, though?
Great.
Anyway, but no, there is a theory that the poison it wasn't from what he drank. Like he didn't actually poison any of the cups. It was because he smelled it. Because at the beginning, remember, he's like, smell this, and it's like I don't smell anything.
Because Wesley doesn't smell it, right?
Yeah. And so that was I saw that theory, and I thought it was kind of interesting because it adds like a different perspective on it.
He's smart.
He's a very smart man. I think it's, I don't know. I appreciate when the movie, whether it's like, obviously Princess and the Bride was very.
You keep saying it wrong.
The Princess Bride.
There you go.
Was very successful, but I really like even when movies aren't that successful, when they just have enough information in them or like small things that just kind of get glossed over that people create all these theories around them. I think it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think movies now have taken it too far where they're trying to force their own theories.
Lore, game theory, talk about me.
Yeah, basically. Like all the Marvel movies now are like,
So,
look at
yeah.
that. You see that? There was a guy in the background. He kind of looked like that character.
Well, you can say a lot about modern Marvel, but you can't say that they're not faithful to the comics because comic books have the most twisting, winding, like counterintuitive, retconny lore out of all pieces of media.
That's true. I mean,
I don't like it. I'm just saying you can't say that it's not accurate.
I feel like there's a lot of, because there's so many things now. If there's a movie about it, there's almost guaranteed to be a book about it. If there's a video game about it, there's almost guaranteed to be some type of other form of media, whether it's a comic or a book.
Right.
And then sometimes if it's big enough, it gets made into a movie or a TV show. And that's not always like the best thing, and they don't always line up well canonically. Right. Like there's a big thing with Star Wars right now. I guess it's been around that the Star Wars movies and TV shows and books and comics, they don't line up.
No.
And it's because it's funny, I forgot his name. I think it's Sam something, but he voices Darth Maul, and he's friends with Dave Filoni. He's like really into Star Wars, and Dave Filoni got it from George Lucas, and George Lucas told them basically like, yeah, it's just whatever happens in the movies and the TV shows, like that's it. The comics, the books, everything else, yeah, it's fun, but
Wild.
yeah.
Wild and crazy.
I know. He's like, people can, make their own stories, which is fun, but anyway.
Back to the topic at
Back
hand.
to the topic at hand. Let's get back into Halloween.
It's funny because I was always animals for Halloween's previous.
Really?
Like when I was a child, I was a bat. I
Okay.
was a cheetah.
Yeah.
I think I was a cat one year. I was an eagle one year. I don't know what. My grandma got me this cheap mask off of whatever, like Amazon before it was Amazon. And then my mom, to make like bird feet, she glued rubber, like yellow rubber dish gloves to my boots. And it was so cursed. But I loved being
I wish you had a
animals for
picture of it. I would
Halloween.
love to see it.
I'm sure I can scrounge one up somewhere.
But
But it's funny because human be animal for Halloween, but animals be other animals or other things for not just Halloween, but forever.
yeah, let's get into that. What are some what in your opinion is like the top 3 animals that dress up? We're not including like dogs that put on sweatshirts.
No, that's not real.
What?
Dogs aren't real.
Oh no. It's so
I gotta
sad.
go home right
I have to go
now.
home and check on my dog.
So one of my favorite topic when we start getting into like costumes and animals pretending to be things
Yeah.
is Batesian mimicry, which is
I know mimicry, but Batesy?
Batesian. That's the name of the scientist who coined the term.
Okay.
Because scientists always be naming things after themselves.
That's not.
That's annoying.
I mean,
It's
is
like
kind of.
egocentric.
No, I mean,
If I found something, I would name it like. Well, actually, maybe I would name it after myself.
I
Not
wouldn't-
thinking about it.
I don't think I'd want to name something after my first name. I wouldn't mind doing the last name, but I
Mhm.
feel like just to leave my mark on the world, I'd name it something that people are confused by. You know, like,
Yeah.
why is this named that?
Why is it named
Can
the
you-
purple spider crab when it's green?
Like imagine you find, I don't know, a new lizard
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, this is the Hendrix, the green spotted Hendrix, and then I come up and I find another lizard next to it, and I'm like, whoa, that's Dragon Demon 69.
I literally, that was my first thought, was calling it dragon something. We're both children.
Or you're like, this is my new lizard fart butt.
Yeah, that's the best one. Oh, we got to do a whole episode on taxonomy because taxonometrical names are so funny. The scientific name for tokay gecko is literally gecko. That's its scientific name.
That's funny.
So good. Anyways, my top pick for the best costume would have to be either the decorator crab or the spider-tailed viper.
Okay.
So the spider-tailed viper looks like a normal viper. They have really good camouflage.
Yeah.
But their tail is, I believe it is modified. I don't know if it's keratin or scales. Keratin's what our fingernails are made of. Hair is made of. Tusks on animals are made of.
I thought tusks were
Rattles.
bones.
No.
Really?
Keratin.
I thought it was like a tooth. You know, it's
A
calcium,
tooth.
You know, like a rhino. Like a rhino's horn.
Sorry. Tusks are tooths, yes. Teeth, not
Teeth.
tooth. Tusks are teeth, yes. Horns are keratin.
Okay.
But it has this modified end of its tail, and it looks like a little yellow ball with little reddish, pinkish spikies coming out of it.
Okay.
And the way it wiggles it makes it look like a spider doing like a little figure 8 on the rocks.
What is it called?
It's literally called the spider-tailed viper,
Okay.
or spider-tailed horned viper.
Spider-tailed horn viper.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He's such a
Yeah,
cool guy.
That's really cool.
And literally, if you watch, there's one particular video that's been going viral, and it's like the first one that's pops up when you look at it, and you can watch it wiggling its tail, and you're like, that's a whole spider. Like,
Yeah.
it's so convincing.
Well, even with a still image, I can see. I mean, spider. Yes, it's kind of like a spider ant hybrid looking.
Yeah.
Thing. It's kind of long to be a spider,
so cool, though.
but
Super awesome.
It is really cool.
It's the equivalent of if you, like, had a sock puppet on and was like, this is my Halloween costume.
But you're
Or
like,
if you, like, had a little puppet and you dressed up the little, like,
yeah, but
marionette puppet.
You're sitting next to it, like painted
Like-
green in a bush.
Yeah. Or, those,
And then a
like,
child comes.
those illusion costumes where you wear, like, all black and then you have, like, the light up stick figure on it.
Oh yeah.
So it looks like a stick figure doing a little dance.
Yeah.
But I think he's super cool.
No, he looks really cool. Even without the tail, his whole appearance is.
He just looks like a viper.
Well, I mean,
That's your average viper.
no, he's really scaly.
That's your average viper.
No way.
Most
No.
vipers are very scaly.
Well, these scales are like these scales are 3D. Other
They're
vipers
pointy.
they're flat. You know, they're still kind of matte
Some.
as a whole thing.
Yeah.
But this one has little eyebrows. It's scaly.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. They use Batesian mimicry to mimic the spider, but it's more of a lure than anything. Like anglerfish has a lure.
Yeah.
It's another good one. But Batesian mimicry typically is when one animal will mimic a part or a whole of another animal to confuse predators.
Yeah.
So like
Or lure prey.
it is a form of, I don't know if it's a form of Batesian mimicry, but it's a form of mimicry to draw in prey. Typically it's used to repel predators more than it is to draw in prey.
Mm-hmm.
But still sometimes they do that. So the classic example is king snakes and corn snakes. No, king snakes and coral snakes.
King snakes and corn.
King snakes and an ear of corn. So king snakes are completely harmless.
Yeah.
I think it's specifically talking about the tricolor king.
Wait. Okay, is this the king snake and is it the coral snake? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have like the very similar pattern.
Yeah, and they have a rhyme. You know the rhyme.
Yeah. What is it? If yellow touches red, you're dead.
Well, yeah, I've heard red touch yellow, bad for a fellow. Red touch black, good for Jack. Who's Jack? I don't know who Jack is.
That's so long.
I know, right?
Because can you imagine you're I don't know, you're on the
You
coast,
step on
you're
it.
running around and you see this snake and it's like squaring you up, you know, it's like, hey man, what you doing? And then you look at it and you're whispering to yourself like, oh, yellow touches black, you're okay, Jack. And he's like, what are you saying, man? And you're like, what? Nothing. And he's so mad at you because you're trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And because you didn't just know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of racist.
Yeah.
to the
There's
snake.
a lot of different snake species that mimic the coral snake. So you have the king snake. You also have milk snakes.
Milk snakes? I figured milk snake would be just white.
Nope.
Really?
They lived in barns and people thought they were drinking their cow's milk. For some reason, they thought that's why the snakes were there. They were suckling the...
Look at this long udder. This one's just...
I don't know why they thought that. But it's the milk snake. Then there's also tricolor king snakes. Or not tricolor king. Tricolor hognose, which
Okay.
mimics the coral snake. Anything with like that red, black, and yellow is a mimic of the coral snake, which is cool. They thought he was the coolest guy on the block, so they said, you know what? I'm going to be just like that guy.
Because they saw that everyone else is avoiding him.
Yeah, which is funny.
I feel like none of these... I mean, I guess if you're... You know, it's like a quick look predator or something trying to avoid it.
Mhm.
Like something that's specifically going out of its way to avoid a coral snake. I feel like if I saw any of these other knockoffs, I'd be like... Because even just like a quick glance at it, it just looks... There's way too much red compared to
Yeah.
the coral snake. In my opinion.
Predators are stupid, though.
Are they?
But it's cool. I mean, I think that it's a really... You also see it in species that use bright colors. So that's a rule of thumb in the animal kingdom, is if you're bright colored, you're definitely poisonous and will definitely kill something.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time...
Until something comes along that can deal with that.
Yeah.
And then you're
You're screwed.
screwed because you're out in the open, you know?
Yeah, other snakes do this kind of. There's another thing called eye spot mimicry, which cobras do, which is kind of cool.
Cobras? Yeah.
Monocle cobras. They pretend to have eyes on the back of their head.
Oh, that's the same thing as tigers.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I have that written down as well.
Yeah, because they have the little dots
Tigers
on the
and
back
servals and something else, another big cat species. But they have that so that it looks like eyes in the back of their head. A lot of bugs do this. A lot of moths and butterflies have eye spot mimicry.
Well, I feel like that's because when they open up their wings, they have a larger area, and so they're like, hey,
Yeah.
if I open up, it looks like all of a sudden there's just a face in front of you. You know, that's really interesting to think about.
But I feel like the equivalent for Batesian mimicry in what's it called? In like a Halloween costume, it's kind of like if you dressed up as one of your buddies or like somebody famous who was like notoriously dangerous, like but like a real person.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm dressing up as a villain for Halloween. It's like I'm actually dressing up as Hitler for Halloween.
Well, I mean, okay.
Or I'm dressing up as like I don't know who's another dangerous person.
I feel like Hitler
the
was-
Zodiac killer.
Hitler was dangerous because he had a lot of power.
Yeah.
But if you were like put in a room with Hitler,
I'm dressing up as Jack the Ripper.
like, do you think you could take on Hitler if you were put in a room with him? Like,
Probably.
you think so?
I just grab him by the mustache.
He wasn't that tall, was he?
This is. I don't know how tall he was.
Oh, he's 5'9".
I could take him.
I guess that's pretty average.
I think I could take him in a physical fight. He wasn't in the military, was he?
He was the leader.
But no, but
the
did he have
like,
to? Did he have to go through like the
Yeah,
like
he
basic?
was, yeah, he fought in World War One.
Oh, well, never mind.
Actually, that's actually kind of an interesting thing about him is that he was. I think it was. I don't know the actual term. It was like a runner,
Oh,
like a message
yeah.
a message deliverer,
A message boy.
and it was like that. Apparently, I think that had like a really low survival rate. Because you're basically just like, imagine there's like a fight going on and you're just like, someone gives you a letter and they're like, go! And you're like, you're just sent off.
Yeah, but I think that people don't really do that in real life. They don't really dress up as like
Hitler?
like the Zodiac killer, like Ted Bundy, like genuine serial killers.
Well, because I feel like now with the last two that you just named, I feel like they'd just be dressing up as normal people.
Yeah.
You know? You have to do one that doesn't have a lot of information about it. Like, was it? No, it wasn't Ted Bundy. It was
Jeffrey Dahmer?
No, who was the guy who jumped out of the airplane with the money?
DB Cooper.
DB Cooper.
We're a big fan of DB Cooper in these parts.
Yeah, it's like that. It's exactly like that because then it's, there's still some element to mystery. So if you just wear like the suit, the glasses, the hat,
with the tie, yeah.
and then you carried a suitcase.
It was a clip-on J.C. Penney tie that he wore.
How do you know that? Did you find it?
Yeah.
Was it
I
yours?
watched an episode.
An episode of what?
BuzzFeed Unsolved. They did one on DB Cooper.
Oh, I think this is tying back into Marvel. I think it was really cool how
they did Loki.
They did Loki.
Yeah,
doing
that was great.
Because it was like, oh, okay, that's still something to this day that's unsolved, and it's just people know that's not true, but it's like it's whimsical.
So silly.
It's funny, yeah.
But I feel like in the Halloween tier list for Batesian mimicry.
I feel like that's if you painted a spider on your hand.
Yeah, and was like, look at or you paint a little spider on the toilet paper as a prank, and they roll it, and they're like, oh.
I love those little boxes where you open it up and
the
the
rat
bug
comes out or the bug comes out.
Did I ever tell you about when that happened?
No.
Oh, I was at work one time and when it was me and another new guy and then kind of a seasoned guy, but we were all the same age or roughly, and we had to go to this office to get new paperwork, and so the older guy took us over there, and me and the new guy were just kind of messing around, and we saw a box. It was I think it was last year around Halloween, so there's a bunch of candy out, and it had a little sign. It was just a little wooden box. It was like, oh, inside is mints, and I was like, I fucking love mint. And so I opened it up, and like I opened it up slow enough so I saw it, but even with how slow I was opening it still sprung out.
Yeah, they do.
And so I realized that. I closed it, and I kind of looked over, and the guy didn't see, and I was like, oh man, that was a good mint. And
no.
he was like, really? And so he opened it. He was like, oh,
That's
oh
so
God.
mean.
And then he looked at me, and he had the same thought, and he was like, the guy who we were with, his name is Tate, and they were like, hey Tate, those are some good mints. And he was like, oh dude, no way. And he's like, yeah, try one.
So
and so he opened it. He's a big man, and he like jumped back when he came out.
That poor guy.
It was the best like escalation of things.
That is so good. But I feel like lure mimicry is higher on the list than Batesian is. It's cool, but I feel like if somebody dressed up as me for Halloween as like a quote unquote defense mechanism, I think I'd be a little creeped out.
I'd be a little turned on. I see me.
I don't like that thought.
Like, oh hey.
I was gonna say
Who's that sexy man?
If there's someone, or like imagine if somebody else like decided to wear your clothes and get your hairstyle or whatever to like loosely try to pretend to be you. It's like when you see an actor playing a real person, where it's like they look kind of close but not like all the way. If you were to pick someone to don your hair and your clothes and whatever and to pretend to be like you, who would you pick?
Probably my brother.
That's a boring answer.
Well, I'm not a very distinct looking person, but with facial features,
It would be so much funny if you were like Morgan Freeman.
Oh, if I got to choose anyone.
Yeah,
to
choose
portray
anyone
me.
who would try their hardest to look and act like you.
Oh, well, that comes into like, I don't think anyone would want to dress up as me. That's a tough question because it couldn't be someone black.
Or of any other ethnicity because you're pale as the sun.
Yeah, it'd have to be someone else. Man, maybe like I'm trying to think of someone who has the same face, like not facial features necessarily, but like same hair color, same.
They could dye their hair.
Same skin tone. Because if we're going off of those two things, oh God, what's his name? The guy who played Ron in Harry Potter.
Oh, I don't know the actor's name.
Is it Rupert something?
Rupert, I don't know.
I'm looking at
that. Would be a good guess. Or I guess that would be a good substitute for you.
Rupert Grint.
If someone replaced you with him,
people would know.
I would know, but I don't think that I would challenge
just accept it.
Yeah.
You would just be like, oh
like,
yeah.
I guess this is a new era and I don't
You're like, oh, he's a famous guy. That's pretty cool.
I would pick.
How to get him to play, you know?
I would pick, realistically, this is not my answer, but in an ideal world, I would pick Florence Pugh.
Who's
She played Black Widow's sister in Black Widow.
Oh, I love her.
In she was in Midsummer.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Oppenheimer, yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Don't say it like that.
I wasn't saying
yeah,
it.
she was.
I didn't say it like that. I was
would pick her
something.
She's
so
gorgeous and I think she's amazing.
She
and
is.
kind of looks like me a little bit.
Yeah, I can.
Enough.
She got cheeks. She's got a face.
Yeah.
No,
that would be great.
I loved her in Black Widow.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Black Widow itself was like she carried that movie.
She carried it so hard. This is what I say to everyone.
Yeah, that was I thought she was just a really good actress.
Yeah.
That was a deep sniff.
Yeah, it was.
God, that really like picked up everything.
You're like trying to take in the environment.
You could like hear my deviated septum like through that sniff. That was crazy.
You could hear that it was going to my right nostril instead of my left.
You wanna see something that's kind of weird?
Yeah.
That I don't think I've heard or seen anyone else do.
What?
Watch.
Ooh, it crunched.
Yeah, I can crack my nose.
You have a crunchy nose.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, I got a lot of things messed up with my nose. I just recently found this out. I have like a really bad, like a horrible deviated septum.
Oh.
And then the other side is like
clear as day.
No, it's like
wide open.
It's like I don't know if it, like
the Bonneville Dam, just
right
everything
word.
going through.
No, it's like also stuffed.
Oh.
So it's kind of just like I don't want to talk about me. This is about Halloween and costumes. Let's get back on hand.
Okay.
You talked about, I want to hear it. It really piqued my interest.
Yeah.
The decorator crab.
Yes. So I recalled this because Dr. Turner talked about it in marine bio.
Yeah.
Not supposed to talk about specific classes, but I love that class and Dr. Turner so much.
Yeah, we can just Peyton and Nick can blurt that out. Like
just say bio beep. But so he talked about the decorator crab, and it's a species of spider crab that's tropical. And in order to, they kind of are like, they have kind of a texture that already looks kind of rocky, corally, but then they take chunks of coral or kelp or rock or shell or whatever they can find, and they just stick it on them for camouflage purposes. And it's so funny because they all end up looking really different. Like baseline, they look like spider crabs, but then they'll put little sticks and they'll put anemones on their backs.
How does it attach to them?
They have like a biological glue that they can just make. I think they spit it onto their claws and use it to stick.
Oh, it's like a mucus thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well,
that's so weird. I
I
see the pictures that you're talking about. They all look different.
Yeah, and then they'll put sometimes they'll put beneficial things on their back. Like they'll put anemones on their back, and the anemones will protect them from certain species that will try to like get at them. You know, because anemones sting.
It'll bring fish too.
Yeah. So it forms a kind of symbiosis.
Dude, these guys are great.
And when they put like kelp on them or like plant matter, it continues to grow on their shells, which is really cool.
Can you imagine being this? How long do they live? Do we know that?
I have no idea.
Can you imagine if they were like lobsters, they can just keep growing? And lifespan. Here we go. I'm not seeing much on.
They do not have a lifespan.
They don't have a lifespan. They just exist. No. Can you imagine if you're this like 50-year-old decorator crab, and you have these massive strands of kelp
So,
curling
like,
off your back.
beautiful hair.
Yeah.
I have to get little haircuts.
Man,
you
it
think?
must have sucked for the scientist who first found this, because he's like, look at this super unique crab, and then he finds another one. He's like, look at this really unique one, and then he like passes them on to the institution or whatever.
No,
and
it's the same
they're
crab.
like, it's the same crab, man.
What a bummer.
I know.
But I think they're really cool. Sea urchins do the same thing.
No, they don't. I've never
Yeah,
seen
they
a
do.
sea urchin decorating itself.
They do. They put little, usually it's shells or rocks or coral, but they'll put it on as a little hat to protect the top of their head or whatever to protect. I don't know why they do, because they literally already are protected. They're covered in spines.
I was gonna say, does the hat just sit on top of the spikes?
Yeah, but it helps protect against things that can't. I know what you're seeing. So people who have saltwater aquariums will make little 3D printed hats and put them in the sea urchin tank, and the sea urchins will pick them up and put them on.
There's a lot of cowboys.
They got like cowboy hats, Viking helmets, like top hats. They'll just put them, but sea urchins just love wearing hats.
That's so funny.
Which-
I would never have thought that.
It's kind of a lazy Halloween costume, because it's just like putting on one article of clothing and saying, I'm this.
I don't know. One
It's like
article
putting on
of
the ski
clothing.
mask saying, I'm a burglar.
Yeah, but one article of clothing when you otherwise
hat.
don't wear clothing is like a big thing, I feel like. Like imagine if you wore the same like blue jeans and white t-shirt
Right.
all year, and then one day out of the year you put on like a neon jumpsuit. People would be like,
People would know.
oh, look at that. That's different. I like that.
Yeah. It's just, it's very cute, because they'll do it with, obviously in captivity,
You
they
can
do it
put
with
them
lots
on,
of things.
You can
but-
put a hat on the urchins in Stardew Valley.
Oh, that's excellent to know.
Yeah.
What a fun little Easter egg. But urchins and decorator crabs, they're really cool. I feel like their costumes are pretty good, you
Mhm.
know, because they're at least putting something on. Like other animals, it's just part of their skin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so that when we get into costumes, talking about today, would you consider it more, if it's on their skin, camouflage?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I like it. Things with camouflage, I don't know a lot about it. There's the intricacies of it in the animal kingdom. One thing that I think is really funny is two main species come to mind, I think, for most people when you think of camouflage.
I can name them.
Yeah, well, do you think you can name them?
I did not look at your notes, and I know that I can name them.
What are they?
Chameleons.
Yeah.
Octopus.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had.
Yep.
That's like, those are like the two that everyone thinks of when you say like, oh, that can camouflage. It's like, it must be a chameleon, or it must be a type of octopus. No, I think that they're both cool. I think they're both super unique and really fun animals. But at the same time, when you're looking at the stats between the two, octopus destroy
Dominates.
chameleon's camouflage capability.
Yeah.
Because chameleons, it takes a little bit of time. You know, they can't just. It's not like in the movies where it's like an instant
No.
switch over.
And they also can't pick to be any color. It depends on what species it is
Yeah.
and what environment it's in.
Okay.
They can't, like, if you have like a classic green veiled chameleon and you put him on a black surface, he's gonna get darker in color, but he's not gonna turn black. They
Yeah.
can't do that.
But octopus can.
Can.
They totally
Yes,
can.
they can.
And it's so cool.
And they can copy patterns, like people put them on checkerboard and they follow the pattern, and they're extremely smart too. Chameleons are dumb.
Yeah,
They
chameleons
try to
like,
eat dirt
they
on a
fall-
regular
they
basis.
fall off the stick,
Yeah,
man.
they
They
do.
just like, that's the end of that chameleon.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, this is a really interesting topic though, because it brings it to, I've heard from other sources, my sources, which are other podcasts, that some people like to speculate that octopus are aliens
I can believe it.
because they're totally different from anything else.
Yeah.
They're
Well, besides
super
squid.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like, you know, they're two kind of different.
Yeah.
That's just environmental pressures changing.
Yeah.
But like, they're totally different, and they're like way smarter, and they have all these different things that not a lot of other animals have.
I
you
believe
know?
it.
I'd believe it. Where do you think they'd come from? Do you think it's like a whole planet of octopus? And they sent the dumb ones to us?
Yeah. I think you're onto something.
I think I'm onto something too. God, that would suck if we got invaded by an octopus, like a big octopus. Oh my God, their spaceship is just one big octopus,
Whoa.
and he just grabs the world.
Love it.
Love it? Yeah.
Next sci-fi Blockbuster.
No, that wouldn't be a very good blockbuster. It'd be like 5 minutes. He'd just grab it and we're all dead.
Oh.
He'd just start sucking.
Whoa.
He'd suck up the ocean or something. I don't know.
Well, chameleons are what people think of for camouflage, but they don't get anything.
Yeah, they kind of suck.
Yeah. Octopus is like true camouflage where they can match any environment.
Yes.
Cuttlefish are another one.
Mm-hmm.
They can do the same thing. They have the extremely developed chromatophores that can completely change any color in the RGB spectrum.
Really? I've heard that cuttlefish can do that, but I've never seen any pictures of it.
They can. It's very interesting. Certain animals to an extent, like all lizards to an extent have color changing chromatophores. All lizards can do what's called firing up and firing down, but it depends on their mood. It doesn't have anything to do with their environment.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of mood do they have to be in to fire up?
They gotta be peeved.
They gotta be peeved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or ready to breed. That too.
So if you see oh god, I'm trying to think of a lizard.
Very
Like just
brightly colored anole. He's
a
mad.
knoll?
Yeah.
Is it like a part of him?
No, anole. ANOLE. Little lizard.
Oh.
People say
okay.
anole. That's wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid people.
I
No,
can't believe you said anole instead of anole.
So is that the same for like the Komodo dragons?
Yeah.
Really?
Any lizard can
lizard
fire up
can
and
do
fire
it.
down.
So if
Some
you
are more
see-
dramatic than others, but any lizard.
I was gonna say that's like you're like in the middle of the outback and you see a monitor lizard like run up on you and it's purple. You're like, oh god, does he want to kill me or does he want to get
Mate
with me?
Yeah,
Something's got him peeved.
it's cool though. I mean, I have a lot of gecko species, and some of them can vary extremely dark and extremely light depending on the mood that they're in.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about more human-based camouflage because we can't.
We can put paint on our faces.
Yeah, we can do that, but we don't really have any natural camouflage.
Paint.
Yeah. Do you think that humans, because
Ghillie suit.
like where we are now, compared to like the Stone Age, do you think that we're better at camouflaging or
No.
worse?
It depends on what you're talking about, because the only reason people do camo now is for hunting or if you're in the military.
Yeah, for warfare.
Yeah.
I
So
guess
we're
no,
not
that's not
using
true.
it-
That's not true. There's like cameramen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're, yeah, I kind of put that in the same vein as hunting, because you're hunting for the shot, but it's a camera and not a gun.
That's okay. Let's.
You're
get
doing it for
past
the same
that.
purpose. You're trying to hide from the animal.
Yeah.
You're either hiding from animals or hiding from people. But we don't need to hide from animals for protection anymore because we have guns and
Yeah.
stuff. But I think that we're better at artificial camouflage, but I think that like genuine evolutionary camouflage, we have none. We're pale, we're naked.
Do you think that when we had hair, we were better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we just like hide in the dark?
Because monkeys camouflage better than people because they have brown hair, so they can just hide in brown grass or on brown trees.
I feel like I've never really thought of a monkey camouflaging itself.
They're not really built for like lots of things are built for camouflage. Like I want to talk about everything that looks like a leaf. Because there's a billion things that decide to look like leaves
Yeah,
for camouflage.
Like bugs. Like there's a billion.
Tons of bugs.
There's a billion bugs that look like leaves.
Butterflies and moths and beetles and etc. Stick bugs. Everything looks like a leaf or whatever. But snakes specifically, a lot of boas and copperheads, they look exactly like leaf piles. Like copperheads decided to look like leaves. Dumeral boas decided to look like leaves. Leaf-tailed gecko
Yeah.
looks like a leaf.
Man, what's up with that? Why can't we get anything? I mean, oh man, do you think that in like 1,000 years, how long does evolution take?
A long time.
A very long time. Do you think that like, I guess I don't think humans are gonna be around for like 1 million or 2 million years. But do you think that if we were, you think there's gonna be snakes and stuff that just look like trash?
Garbage snake.
Garbage snake.
Oh, I would love to see
This
that.
is the asphalt snake.
That'd be so cool.
It blends into the street. Here's the I don't want to say.
I'm not at liberty to say.
I'm not at liberty to say right now. Yeah, I think
yeah.
that'd be cool to see.
There's but lots of things. Owls also are meant to look like leaves or like tree bark. They all decide to do like boring camouflage. Like I'm gonna look like a stick. I'm gonna look like a leaf. I'm gonna look like a
Well,
tree.
what do you want him to look like? You want to there's a whole ass tree right here.
It'd be
And then it's just
awesome.
like it
It
slithers away
moves.
into like a billion fucking snakes.
That'd be so cool.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
It's
That'd be
the
terrifying.
equivalent.
That's the snake bundle tree.
It's equivalent to either. There's two things that I picked for Halloween equivalents. It's either like dressing up as a tree for Halloween, which would be really funny,
Like, you're just an ant.
or you're one of those people who says, "I'm going dressed as myself." Screw you, dude. I hate it when people say that because it's like, okay, so where's your spirit?
Where's your Halloween
Where's your Halloween spirit?
Man, I feel
Do
like
you have fun?
I always have these crazy ideas for costumes, and then as soon as it comes up to Halloween, and people are like, what are you dressing up as?
I have
I'm
no
like,
idea.
I have no idea. Like,
Every
what
costume that I've ever thought of has left my brain.
Yeah, I know. I had one. God, I think one of my favorite costumes I've ever done was Misty
Oh yeah, from Pokemon.
from Pokemon. I thought that was great. I have 2 Halloween parties, and one I'm wearing my main costume, but the other one it's kind of like a more low profile thing that it's friends of a friend, and I don't want to go as my main costume. So I'm trying to figure out like a really cheap alternative, kind of like Misty that I could do, but I don't want to have to do Misty again, but I will if I have to.
Oh, I know you will. The amount of times you bring it up, you will.
It was so much fun. I thought I was like the life of the party. I was also really drunk.
I think it's interesting that for camouflage, it's either to stalk prey or to hide from predators. Like there's no.
That's what I was doing as Misty.
Yeah, you were.
I was hiding.
You were a hiding
I was
from
stalk-
predators.
I was stalking out the booze.
But I just think it's interesting that anything that has like stripes or spots or anything that's not brightly colored is like, man, I'm just trying to look like the dirt. I'm just trying to look like the dirt so I don't get ate. Or you're a tiger and you have stripes, or you're a lion and you look like the grass.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm trying to hide so I can eat.
Which I think is really cool. I think that the stripes on a tiger are, well, that's really interesting because it was developed based off of a response to a different animal,
Yeah.
which I mean all of them are. So the fact that the color that animal sees is different
Yeah.
from what we see
That
is
too.
like, that's how you get that really cool coloration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't even know. That'd be like if there was an animal out there that hunted humans that could only see like, oh my God, that was really loud. man.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I had to put my headphones back on my head.
No, it'd be like if there was an animal that could only see like tones of brown, and then all of a sudden in a million billion years you have like green,
People.
purple people running around
Oh
because
my
this animal
gosh.
can't see that color, and so we're just like lying up against the rock as it walks by. Like, can't see us because we're the wrong color.
Yeah, it is. It is very cool that also plays into effect. Like when you have brightly colored snakes and stuff, the predators that they're hiding from can see those colors, and so they're like, I'm not going to mess with you. But the prey usually can't see those colors. So the fact that they're striped helps them hide in with forest floor. So it kind of works in the same way.
Okay, I always
Could you imagine going out? We kind of talked about this. Going out on Halloween, someone's hiding. They have like a black morph suit on, and they're just hiding in the dark. And then they come out and steal all your candy and run away. That's the equivalent.
I feel like that's when you have one of those pictures, and there's like always something that draws your attention. It's like, find the hidden person, and
Right.
so you're looking, and there's like a few people wearing like super bright suits, and you're like, okay, I see.
I know
those
it's not
people.
them.
And then you're looking around a little harder, and it's like you see a face in the bushes, and you're like, there he is. That's him. God, that is like the most terrifying thing. I forgot where I heard it, but it was that people or humans were trained, or like we have this instinct to identify other human faces.
Yes, yeah.
And so like you're in the woods, and like that's why I don't know about other people, but like you look in the woods and you see patterns of like that looks like people. That's why you like quickly look over your shoulder because you think you see someone walking by, but it's just like a tree that
Yeah.
is like not even remotely human looking.
Where you're like,
You're like, oh God. That's just, I think that's like the funniest thing. I was at Spirit of Halloween the other day, and there was this astronaut helmet, and I love astronauts. I think they're really cool looking, just the design of them.
yeah.
And this helmet, and it was reflective. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is so cool. And so I took it out of the box, and I put it on, and it was really cool because you from the outside perspective. You couldn't see my face, so it was just kind of
Right.
like that mysterious aspect to it. But then on the inside, when I was wearing it, I could see like a blown up, stretched, reflected version of my face in the visor. So it's like,
You just staring
It's
at
like-
the wide angle lens version of yourself.
it's so awful.
Now that's a great
Because
costume.
I put it on and it was like, it's just like my eyes are like just barely further out and visible, and then I could see my mouth just open like.
That's great.
It was so bad. It was
Yeah. Human facial recognition is like a big thing, or like pattern recognition is like a big thing.
yeah.
That's what I was kind of talking about with eye spot camouflage. So you have the big eyes. When a lot of things have like false faces to draw prey or predator. It's usually to scare away predators, so they make themselves look larger because they have these big fake eyes, or they make themselves look like something dangerous. But you remember a couple years ago when those Halloween costumes that were just a cutout of like whatever the current or previous president was, like on a stick, and people just put them up to their face?
Oh no.
I feel like that's the equivalent.
I don't think I've seen that. I can imagine what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
It's pretty much exactly how I described, and I think it's real lame.
Yeah, I mean that's just not a lot of effort put in.
I
That's
wish
like-
I wish that people would take it more seriously and decide to put like a face on their butt for Halloween, because that's what these animals are doing, or on their
Yeah, but
back.
then you have to walk around with his cheeks out.
Yeah,
He's like clap clap clap.
this little smiley face.
So he walks in the park. Like, whoa! Look out!
There's a huge man. It's just his butt.
It's man. You know what I've kind of realized is that there are some really cool costumes, but I feel like Halloween, maybe it's just because it's different when you're a kid and you're looking at it.
Mhm.
But as I've gotten older, it seems like people like to be more like promiscuous in their outfits.
Oh, I actually have a note about that.
Oh God, I don't want to hear about like the lewd animal of the Arctic that skips around in undies or something.
Kinda. Well, because everything for this section, I mostly wanted to talk about the peacock jumping spider, and
Okay.
that was something that came up very early on when I came up for this episode idea. I wanted to talk about the peacock jumping spider because his butt is the only thing about him that's very brightly colored,
Whoa!
and he flips up his butt and does a little dance for a lady spider, and that just reminded me so much of like when you wear a redonkulous costume or
Yeah.
like one of those normal costumes, like he's a normal spider, but one thing about him is promiscuous. It reminded me the equivalent is like
This guy looks awesome.
he's really cool.
He's really cool. So where is that color during the rest of the time?
It's still on him.
It's just. I mean,
It's
does
just
he
part
like?
of
Is it
him.
like? It does. Does it just? Is it on the top or is it the bottom?
It's on the top of his butt.
Wouldn't that make him like such an easy target for birds?
Well, bright color also means potentially poisonous.
Yeah,
so.
but that's like a marker. Like, hey,
Hey, look at me.
Hey, look
I'm
at me.
delicious.
Please
I'm
don't-
berry flavored.
please don't eat me. I have to go wave my butt for someone.
Yeah, but it's also like birds are the biggest
Mhm.
examples of this. You see the birds with the crazy bright colors and like everything about them is normal.
Yeah.
Like, in Spirit Halloween, you have the normal doctor costume and the normal cop costume, like normal bird.
And then
you
you
have
have-
like the sexy,
Yeah.
like you have
Dude,
under
everything is like
arrest
that
and
now.
it has like this sexy woman on it, or
Yeah,
like
oh, God.
Dr. Feelgood and it's like a hot woman.
I like I said, when I was at Spirit of Halloween, everything was like that. There was the normal one, and then there was like the sexy version of it.
It's like normal priest with a fake beard and Bible, and then it's like sexy naughty
it's like
nun.
naughty nut. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, here's like a convicted serial killer, and then it's like
But this one has her boobs
seductor.
out. It's seductress, yeah.
Yeah, it's just that's.
I think those are great. I think
they're
those
really
are
funny.
hilarious.
I know. I think that's really good.
But, like,
Actually,
most-
that's one idea. I love for Halloween costumes. I love gender bent things.
Oh, one year me and Isaac did a fawn and a hunter, like a deer and a hunter,
Mhm.
and I literally just like wore a big bulky camo jacket and put like face paint on and had a Nerf gun, and then he had like the makeup and the little horns. I was like, this is so good. That was our first Halloween together that we did that.
That's funny. No, yeah, because Hillary and I threw around the idea of doing Harley Quinn and the Joker.
Oh, but gender bent?
Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
I was like, I don't know where I'm gonna find, a skimpy Harley Quinn costume
Everywhere.
that would fit me.
Oh.
I'm a big man.
Yeah.
Compared to most women.
Compared to most Harley Quinns.
Compared to most Harley Quinns, yeah. God, I feel like I was going somewhere with the whole spider thing. It was leading me on this trail of something to talk about.
Well, it's gone now.
It's gone now. Yeah, I know it was something along the lines of like Halloween costumes being more lewd than they personally were. Lewd is like my favorite word for
I can
like
tell.
sexual. I don't know why. It's just not said that much.
Yeah.
You know?
It's usually people say promiscuous or
Naughty.
But I think that's a good runner up for like the best costume is the peacock jumper.
After seeing this guy's colors, I would agree.
He's my top 2 picks are the spider-tailed horn viper and the peacock jumper.
What about just the peacock?
Peacocks are another one too. They have the same thing. They have sexual dimorphism is what's it called. So the males look all crazy and the females look normal.
Yeah.
So he's like kind of a normal bird, but then he's got these beautiful colors and this big old tail. He shakes out and does a little dance for her.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
kind of what it's always the males too.
I was literally just about to say that. It's always the guys. Like all the guys always look super dressed up. When you go to humans, I feel like it's a total opposite.
Yeah.
Like girls dress up. I mean, they don't dress up to attract a mate, but they dress up because girls dress up more than guys.
Yeah.
And like
in our society.
In ways like this where it's like colorful, it stands out. But I have a question for you then. What is the equivalent of like what's something that a guy could wear that would be the equivalent of a girl dressing up to like attract?
Are you talking about a real example?
Yeah.
Cologne.
Cologne? That's it.
It's like a pheromone thing.
I'm talking about like
like
clothing,
physically?
like physical clothes. Because okay, this might
fedora.
just this might just be me, but when I think of like dressing to
a
attract,
plaid shirt, but with the sleeves rolled up to the elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Because when I think
talk to anyone who's attracted to men.
That's like lumberjack though.
I made a face. You can't see it, but
yeah. Well, girls, it's like
a dress, a
it's
skirt,
like a dress, a skirt,
pretty earrings.
Yeah. Well, now it's more like fishnets and like cut off shorts, booty shorts, yoga pants, stuff like that. I feel like for guys,
gray sweatpants.
If I try to think of like what I'm a guy, so I only see it from my perspective. But if I put myself in like, if I was a girl and I was looking for a guy, what would I want to see him wearing? I'm like, I would want to see that fucker in like armor, like a night suit. Or like,
you have a point. I
think that would be so
half the
cool.
population is like, I want this man to be in a mask. Like, I want him to wear a full suit of armor. I want him to, wear like the coolest thing possible.
Yeah.
And then the other half of the population is like, put my man in a Catboy Maid outfit. Put my man in the Playboy Bunny outfit. How about?
Oh, I see. What they want, like little. I don't want to say anything.
Don't say anything offensive now.
I'm not going to say anything offensive. I was just going to say they like that kind of dress.
Yeah.
Or that dress up. I don't know. I guess I feel like there's different. I don't think any girls see it like that though. Like no girl is like, I want to see like I mean, they want their knight in shining armor metaphorically, but they don't want a literal knight.
I would.
I would totally. I'd be like, dude, train me up.
Yeah.
I want to be you. That's awesome. Like when you go to Comic-Con and you see the people
dressed up
in like Halo
or like the full stormtrooper, and it's like,
yeah,
okay, hold
like,
on.
I'm like that's cool. But now it's like, I want him to wear a suit, and it's like, man,
that's boring.
No one has the money for a suit now, And they're like, I want my guy to be casual. I want to see him in like a tank top and sweats. It's like, okay, so you're lazy.
Yeah, I think there's a perfect middle ground somewhere with nicer dark jeans, a nice belt. You got...
Is a belt really that important?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Do you think other girls think the same?
Yes.
Really?
You got the plaid shirt on.
I have a string tying up my pants right now.
But... What? the...
See?
Yeah, well, that's comfort.
Yeah.
But... And then you got whatever the nice shirt is, plaid or otherwise, tucked in. Peak.
I think that's like a personal preference thing.
It's peak.
It's peak?
Yeah.
What kind of shoes we talking about?
Any.
Crocs?
No shoes. Feet out.
Yeah. Oh, my dog's barking.
But I do agree with you where the animal kingdom is very much the males compete with each other by looking pretty.
Yeah,
because
you have like
flip-flopped in.
You have the peacocks. You have like ducks, like the mallards
Yeah,
always look
yeah.
really good. Frogs, spiders we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Birds, a lot of birds.
So only bird. When I was doing research for this, it was like only birds.
Yeah.
It was a couple bugs, mostly birds.
Mostly birds. Birds are fun. You know, you see a colorful bird, you're like, wow, that's a nice
That's
bird.
a colorful bird.
I've never seen that bird before. It's a crazy
Yeah.
color. I feel like I see a bird now, and it's like, because I think our state bird is yellow.
The goldfinch.
Yeah, I see like a yellow bird now, and I'm like, whoa,
Hey,
hey, look at that guy.
yellow bird.
Yellow bird.
It works on you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it works on me. Oh, I mean, if it's a guy, then he's sending the wrong signals to the wrong
But
person.
it's working.
But it's working. But probably not for, like, he's like, oh man, I'm looking good out here in my yellow coat. And then he sees me like, bird.
A bird.
You know?
But I don't know. I feel like dimorphism, sexual dimorphism is a better Halloween costume than
What is
anything else.
Sexual dimorphism?
It's when the males and females of species look different.
Oh.
So peacocks, lots of birds, snakes, but it's about size instead for snakes. And bugs too.
Yeah, that's fair.
But one more animal with a face that I wanted to talk about, the sort of equivalent of the, I guess you could also say, like, I don't know, you know those illusion costumes where it's like your head, you're holding it, and then the fake body is above you, so it looks like your head fell off and you're like cradling it.
Yeah.
That's more equivalent than, I suppose, the cardboard cutout I was talking about earlier. But there's one called it's called the face patterned spider, but everyone just calls it the happy face spider.
Okay.
And he is such a silly guy. And I don't know, it literally is like the :D face. If you typed in :D on your keyboard, it's literally just the like, yippee!
I was gonna say, he's kind of see-through.
Yeah, he's really cool. And I don't know if it's our human recognition that's saying it looks like a human face, or if there's something
I think it would. That makes sense.
Something actually about those colors in that pattern in that way that makes it look. It does make it look like an animal, like a different animal that's larger than the spider itself. So it's you know, he's doing his job right.
He's doing something
I'm
right.
scared.
I'm happy. If I saw that guy, I'd be like, what a fun little man. And I'd pick him up and I'd put him in my pocket and I'd take him everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what? This is totally off topic from animals and bugs. You know what really like made
Grinds
me mad?
your gears.
You know what really peeves me off?
What?
And I feel like this has been talked about other places, but probably one of the worst. I mean, I guess it was a good representation of camo, but the reason behind the capability for that camo was like total dog shit.
What was it?
It was the Hunger Games.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, it's the baker's son. He's like, I paint cakes, and then he's like a tree the next moment.
It's so funny.
It's just so awful. It's
so funny.
God, that. Have you seen the Starving Games?
No, I have not.
It's the parody of it, and they had that scene where during the training he was like, "Oh, I paint the cakes. I'm really good at painting," and she's like, "Oh, you'd be good for camouflage." And then later on in the movie, when she finds him, when he was hurt, and he painted himself. It was just like a birthday cake sitting in the middle of the woods.
It's really like it looks like that scene in WALL-E where the hair and makeup robot like on his face.
That's exactly.
It's so funny.
It was so good. All right, so we're kind of coming to our ending here. We can wrap it up with I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you were like, I guess it could be two questions. If you could choose what type of camo you have off of the bugs and animals we've listed so far, which one would you want?
Octopus.
Yeah.
Octopus is the only correct answer.
Let's say you can only do it in water.
Oh. I can only live in water. I can only change color in water.
Change color in water.
It rains a lot here.
Pretty good party trick. So it's just like little splotches of every now and then changing color.
That'd be so cool looking though.
That would be really cool.
If I make the rain land on me and it like turns my skin blue and then it fades after a second. It's like, oh, that's so cool.
I feel like, well, the thing with camouflage is like if you can change color, that's cool. But it's like there's always still gonna be like a little lump if someone looks hard enough. Like you can't just blend into a flat wall really easily.
Yeah.
If it's like a rocky.
If they look from the wrong side, it's just like a vaguely human shape sticking out from this flat surface.
Yeah, it only worked if it was like direct line, you know, like head on. But that's, I think most people.
I guess I would
that.
pick in that case, and I would pick something like Batesian or eye spot mimicry, where it just looks like I have like another person's face on the back of my head. That like freaks people. That looks way bigger than my face, and it freaks people out. Or it looks like there's a giant tiger like staring at you from the back of my head.
But you have hair, so it's always.
Yeah.
And then like you go to the barber to get
He's
it
moving
shaved,
a little
and
bit.
They shave it, and they're like, "Oh God,
The
the
tiger.
tiger!"
I feel like that would be really, really cool.
That'd be so funny. You like lift up your shirt, like, and on your back, it's like a rhino.
Oh no!
It's coming right at us.
Yeah,
Everyone
I
flees.
would probably pick something like that, like
That's
something with a
fair.
face. What about you?
I feel like I would choose something mimicry to like freak people out.
Yeah,
You know,
like you would make your face look like a snake somehow.
I don't know about that. That'd just be weird.
You'd make your eyes
my
look.
face is just like a noodle.
What? Oh, I see.
I have a really long nose and I just wiggle it. And people are
Oh, no,
like,
a snake!
A snake.
The snake's coming out of your head.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be definitely be something.
Yeah, but I think the best Halloween costume animal, I think it has to go to the decorator crab. You know, because he puts in the effort.
I agree. He really like goes out of his way to do it too.
Yeah, he puts in the real effort.
Do you think they have like preferred things they like to put on?
It seems like whatever is in their environment.
Yeah.
That would.
So
be
if you
good for
took a
them.
decorator crab and you put him, I'm trying to think of a fun place.
You put him in like a tank, and it's
Put him
got like
like
a
a-
billion different little things for him to put
Yeah,
on.
you put like the tank is filled with like different colored
Mhm.
broken glass.
Ooh, you'd look so pretty.
It would look pretty cool. You put him in a ball pit. He's
Oh, he's just covered in like plastic balls.
all bumpy.
Oh man, but I think
Put him in a bag of M&Ms.
I think he has to take the dub for.
I would agree. I
'Cause
think
camouflage
who do you
is-
think who do you think gets the biggest L, the worst camo?
Oh, the
It doesn't have to be from one we talked about. Who do you think just has like it's like an attempt, but it's just awful?
Oh, that's a really good question. I feel like
Because there has to be one that's like an attempt at camouflage, but it does the direct opposite, and they've only survived through sheer luck.
I don't know. That's a really tough question. I think that anything brightly colored, like out of its environment,
Yeah.
which is kind
Well, I
of
mean that's
everything.
I was gonna say you're kind of removing it from the situation at that point.
A lot of brightly colored butterflies. It's like, girl,
You're not fooling anyone.
you're not fooling anybody. I see that you're orange.
Mhm. I love crocodiles, but I don't think they look like logs.
No, not at all.
No.
I think,
You
yeah.
have to be a big dumb animal to look at a crocodile and be like, "That's a log.
That's made of
I'm
wood.
gonna step on it."
There is a species of caterpillar that looks like bird poop.
Well, that's super effective.
It is.
No one wants to go near. Not even the birds are gonna look at that. They're
They're
gonna be
like,
like, "Ha, nice." Like that was Jimmy earlier. Like, and then Jimmy later on they find out like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that wasn't my poop."
It could be monkeys.
There's not any attempt though.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think you're right then with alligators, crocodiles trying
That's
to
just
look like
I feel like that's the first one that came to mind.
yeah, looking like logs and
I feel like having that type of thing, because not everything has. I guess all lizards, according to you, have that flare up moment,
mm-hmm.
but not everything has good camo.
Yeah.